making me. I don't want to stand here, so, Elder, I want to move. It's okay? Are you sure? Because we want to interact. I'm not preaching. You go and stand over there. We are saying that you can have a good, genuine case. You can be right. But at the same time, you can be wrong at the top of your voice. And Muse wants to help. How is that true?
I was saying that when you are on top of your voice, the other person does not listen. It's only you who is talking.
It's only you who is talking.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good. That mic can go around. There is a hand there.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to say is that at the top of your voice, it is emotions that cloud your judgment.
It's emotion.
And with emotions, you are bound to make wrong decisions.
Okay. Good. Last one. Last person. It's the same thing. See, let me give a scenario. Let's say you are a lady, isn't it? Your husband comes home from work late all the time. You are right. You are saying that, honey, when you go to work, stop going to friends and come home on time. I need you. The lady has a genuine case. But here comes the husband. At the entrance, the lady just meets him at the entrance, open the door. You are coming home again, late. You shouting. She is right, but she is at the top of her voice, isn't it? How do you think the man will react, even though the man is wrong? The man will react, isn't it? And the reaction may not be good. So you may have a genuine case. You may be right, but at the same time, you can be wrong at the top of your voice. So therefore, recognize the destructive power of words. Remember the destructive power of what? Words. Words. In Kenya, you say words. In Ghana, we say words. W-O-R-D. Destructive power of words. So we should really recognize how tactful we can handle case for it to be resolved amicably. I was at the camp meeting in Ghana, and usually during camp meetings we divide, and here we divided, and I was the one handling the married couples from 20 to 30 years, and we were talking. One lady came to me and said, "Pastor, how come that me and my husband, we cannot sit down and have a conversation and laugh and be happy each time we want to talk? One person's voice goes up a little bit, and the other one goes on top of him, and the other one goes. Before we realize, we are all screaming, and there is no conversation. We split." And I said, there's a problem. So how we resolve conflict, we are laying the background. We have not even gone to the 7 steps. Couples who stay happily married disagree just as much as the couples that get divorced. Hey, you think myself and my wife, we don't disagree? We do. There is never a couple on this earth who will say we do not disagree. We do not have conflict. Conflict is inevitable in marriage. So, let's now look at the 7 principles of resolving conflict. There are 7. All the 7 are so crucial, so important. Number 1 is urgency. urgency. U-R-G-E-N-C-Y. Urgency. Did you get that? Good. Urgency. That's number one principle. Sometimes in our attempt to avoid conflict, problems piled up in a corner. There are some, my friend, you don't have to sit down because I'll be moving up and down. It's okay. Urgency principle means that when there is an issue in marriage to be resolved, attach urgency to that issue. Now, there are certain problems in marriage we tend to avoid, we tend to shelve, we tend to procrastinate on it. But then, the more avoidance we give to problems, the more the problem grows, isn't it? Yes. Let me ask you, what will make couples to be wanting to avoid issues, or to be shelving, to be procrastinating on that issue? What are some of the reasons? There are many reasons. When the issue, let me give you one. When the issue is very sensitive, couples will want to, that one, it is very sensitive. We don't know how to approach it. But whether the issue is sensitive or not, the more you shelve it, the more you avoid it, the more it also grows. What are some other reasons why we will want to avoid issues? When you are guilty, even when your wife brings it up, you try to find a way to avoid it, isn't it? What are some of the other reasons? When the issue is sensitive, when one partner thinks, when we discuss issue, I'll be disgraced, I will be bogged down. So when you feel guilty, you tend to avoid issues. What else? Yes. When you feel extremely hurt or angry, you are not ready to discuss issues. You are not ready. But the principle of urgency says that, listen what? Conflicts are like termites. You know termites? Unattended and unnoticed, they bite into the vital fabric of a matrimonial relationship. Conflict. Issues should be confronted and resolved as quickly as possible. There is no room for avoidance. There is no room. There are some issues, if you can tackle them at the infancy, there are no issues. They can easily be resolved. But when you wait and they grow and you avoid, and the issue, it becomes a bit difficult now. It becomes a bit difficult. Let's read Ephesians. Somebody read Ephesians 4:26 and 27 for me. Ephesians 4:26 and 27. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 and verse 27. Where is the other mic? David, the mic is with you there. So please read it.
Ephesians 4, verses 26. Be hungry.
Be
angry.
Be what?
Angry.
Be angry.
And do not sin.
And do not sin.
Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Nor give place to the devil.
Neither give place to the devil. You see, I said yesterday that there is not a single day when myself and my wife will go to bed without kneeling down and praying together, isn't it? How can couples do that when there are issues with them to resolve? They are angry with each other. Can they pray? Can they pray? They are giving place to the devil to come into their marriage. Yes, be angry. Yes, disagree. Yes, there should be conflict. But the Bible is saying, do not let the sun do what? Go down. Because you will pray before you go to bed. Before you go to bed. There is an issue here that I would like us to really look at. It says, care must also be taken to choose, number one, the right time, number two, and the right place for addressing issues. Lest we attempt doing the right thing at the wrong time. So we are saying that care must be taken to choose the right word, time, and the right place. The question for you is, what are some of the wrong times to address issue? What are some of the wrong time to resolve issue? Yes. The mic. David, stand up and be doing that job for me. Yeah, Madam has raised, we are saying care must be taken to choose the right time and the right place. But the question is opposite. What are some of the wrong time to resolve issues in marriage?
When emotions are still high.
Do we agree? She says when the emotions are still high. Wait for the emotions to cool down. Thank you so much. Wrong time. Wrong time. There is a hand back there. Wrong time to address issue.
The other issue could be the environment upon which you are seeking to resolve the issue. That could be there are people there who might not be concerned
Very
or
good.
who ought not to be involved.
So you are saying that don't
The
address your
environment.
issues in church, in the public, or even when you say public, in front of the children. Thank you, Elder. That I have seen maybe few couples who disgrace each other in public. When the wife made a mistake in the public, the man tries to correct her there, and all eyes are on her. Don't do that. Never, ever do that. Or when the man commits a mistake in public, the wife tries to correct him openly. Maybe in church setting like this, and your husband is a respected person. No, it is never. Wrong time. Wrong time. Thank you, Elder. What are some of the other wrong times to address issues? Here, there is a hand up here. When you are going to sleep. Wonderful. Do not give place to the devil. When we are going to sleep and the two of us want to embrace each other and do those things, don't do that. When you are going to sleep, it's wrong. Now, let's shift gears. What are some of the wrong places to address issue? Wrong times we have said, but the wrong places, I think we have mentioned few of them. In public is one of them. Wrong places, any idea? Come on, come up, come on. We know, wrong places. Yes. At the dinner table. Don't destroy my appetite. at the dinner table over meals. That's true, yes. Any other hand? Okay, during devotion. I agree, during devotion. You want to be in the spirit. But when the heart is pricked, now some of these issues will bring some hurt, so be careful. Yes, sir. When driving. That's a good one. Yeah, when driving. Okay, now, let us educate ourselves. What are some of the right times to address issues? The right times. The right times. Now we have said the wrong times. Now we are saying the right times now. So we can use those times to address or to resolve our issues. Yes, right?
When the children are asleep.
When the children are asleep. Okay. Right times. Any other? Yes, Mama. Okay, when you are relaxed at home. When you are relaxed at home. Any other? Right time to resolve issues? When the emotions have calmed down. Good. So we are saying the opposite. Very good. a dean here. It was last year that rotationally somebody took it over. Anytime we go for a meeting, my wife and I sit together. And if I'm talking, she will just use her leg and push me like this. Then I know something is not going right. You know. And we are and what he is saying is, in a public like this, when she's there and I'm saying something and she wants to disagree with me in the public, don't do that. Don't do that. But she can give her opinion. She can give her opinion. But where she, sometimes, you know, sensitivity, if you don't do it right, the man will feel hurt. And you know, it is very sensitive. But it is better for her to give you a signal. Now, maybe you don't need to do that, but if you are a public speaker, you should always have a sign with you and your wife. When that sign goes up, and you will not see if she does it. When the sign goes up, you know it's not right. When the sign goes, you are doing well. You know, so things like that. That is how we do it. That is how we do it. But you know, let's go on with this. So the right time and the right place should be. You should take care of the right time and the right place to resolve your conflict. Yes, Elder.
Here is a scenario whereby your partner is not willing to discuss issues.
Mm-hmm.
There is something you keep on procrastinating. You keep on delaying it. I'm willing to discuss it and to find a way out towards that.
And she's not
But
willing.
you talk to her, she's not willing. Next week, maybe she says, today I'm not okay. Maybe we plan next week. Then you try to remind her next week, or you remind him next week. Still, he or she is not willing. It gets to a point whereby, I don't know whether I'm wrong, you have to say, even if she's sleeping, you have to say so that you can pass the message. Is that long?
Who can help me? It's a very difficult scenario. But anybody to help me? I know you are all very intelligent. And anybody ready to? Did you understood his issue? Anybody willing to help me? Come on, my elders and my mommies. Yes, there is a hand here.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether to stand. I know this is a difficult situation. And for me, what I could say is that, and maybe, I don't know if Pastor, you are coming to that, is about barriers to communication.
Mm-hmm.
What is this barrier that makes the other person not to be able to communicate to you?
Very good.
Is it that you have your stance where you already knows every time they say something, you want to win? I think it takes us back to what you said, where we talk about winning and losing. Because if your partner knows that your position has to stand, then they'll say there's no need of talking to you. There's no need of giving you time to talk to you. So the best thing is just to find out, according to me, in my view, what are these barriers that make the other partner not be willing to listen to you, not be willing to talk to you, and deal with these barriers. Is it your anger? Because you know there are people who speak with a lot of anger. Is it, as we say, your position? Is it you are protecting someone that you don't want to calm down? Look at the barriers to this communication.
Very good.
Thank you.
You see, thank you, Elder, for raising that issue. Thank you so much. It's a very pertinent question. There are many partners, especially, I may be wrong, but especially the ladies. Ladies value relationship. Ladies, but when it comes to a time when the lady is not willing or keeps on procrastinating or keeps on giving excuses, then there is a problem. There is a problem. And I think the second principle kind of will address that issue for us. So what is the principle number 1? Urgency. What did we say about urgency? Do not avoid issues. Attach urgency to the problems that are cropping up in marriage. At the early stage, tackle it, resolve it, it is better. When you leave it for it to grow, it becomes difficult. Are we together? Number 2 principle is called bifocal. B-I-F-O-C-A-L. Bifocal principle. Bifocal principle. This is another principle that is very important in resolving conflict. B-I-F-O-C-A-L. Bifocal. Are we together? Very good. See, when there is an issue to resolve, the usual thing we see is that I take my stand, she takes her stand. Spouses, most often than not, tend to take or tend to see issues from their own side of view. That is what we see. Couples always see issues differently, and that is why it is an issue. But listen to what someone said. Someone says, issues usually have 3 sides. Your side, my side, and the right side. Did we get it? Mm-hmm. If my wife and I are trying to resolve issue, I mean, she sees the issue from her point of view, isn't it? And I also see the issue from my point of view. But somebody is saying then there is the right point of view. Bifocal principle is saying that and the bifocal principle, we also call it the golden rule. Listen to bifocal principles. It says each partner needs to make a serious effort to see the issue from the other partner's point of view. Each partner need to make a serious effort to see the issue from the other partner's point of view. How can we make this happen? We just say should make a serious effort. I should make a serious effort to see or to view the issue from my partner's point. How can we make that happen? The issue here is to make that happen. I always stand my ground. I see the issue from my side. Now, bifocal principle is saying that I should make a serious effort to see the issue from my partner's point of view. The question is, how can that happen? How can I make a serious effort to see the issue from my partner's point of view? We want to know how we can make it happen. Yes, Mama. You try to put yourself in his or her shoe. Thumb up for you. Very good. Yes. A good listener? Thumb up for you. One more person. Now, these principles are very good when we try to understand them in resolving issues. Now, listen. It says, for this to happen, there must be a meaningful dialogue, open communication, willing to talk, and ready to listen. Hey, listen again. For me to make a serious effort, for you to make a serious effort to view the issue from my partners, from my point of view, and for me to view the issue from your point of view, there must be what? Meaningful dialogue, number one. Open communication. All of us should be willing to talk and ready to listen. It is very crucial that each listens to the other without becoming hysterical, without becoming over-emotional. You see, when I was in Norway one time, and I was preaching. I finished my preaching, and a white lady came to me, and she said, Pastor, I want to talk to you. Do you have time? I said, yes. And she said, do you really have time? And I said, yes, I have time. You want to talk to me, isn't it? She said, yes. This is a Norwegian lady. So we found a place to sit. My colleague, my friends, for 2 hours, the lady was speaking. She would speak, and at a point, she would stop and cry, wipe her face, and begins again. I was just sitting down, staring at her face, without saying a word, for 2 hours. And after the 2 hours, she said, Pastor, I am very much okay. You don't have to say anything. I am okay now. See, the problem we always do is we find ourselves as we know the answer. So when your partner is speaking, we intercept. I know the answer. You intercept. You will not even allow her or him to speak. We are saying that the communication process must flow without you becoming over-emotional or hysterical. When you do that, the communication process is broken. Communication cannot go on. When you do that, you cease to view the issue from your partner's point of view. You see, James said something. James said, be quick to listen and be slow to speak and be slow to anger. No wonder God gave us how many ears and how many mouths. Why did he give us 2 ears and only 1 mouth? He wants us to listen more, isn't it? Bifocal principle is one issue that is bothering many couples. And the reason why we cannot resolve our conflict. Even if your spouse is saying something that is cutting through your heart, that is piercing you, bifocal principle says, be ready to listen. You listen. Let her say her baggage, her foolishness, everything. You listen. If you don't listen, how can you view the issue from her point of view? You cannot. Don't be quick to jump in. Don't become over-emotional. Be patient. That is how you get to know the issue and you tend to empathize. put yourself in her shoe or in his shoe. Are we together? Bifocal principle. Very crucial. Very, very crucial. Now, Mama has said it. We should remember that the purpose of the interaction is to try to walk in the spouse's shoe, trying to see, trying to feel the issue from the partner's perspective. We can only feel, we can only see the issue from the partner's perspective if we listen to each other. If we listen to each other. And my brother, you see, we said each partner must be willing to do what? To talk. Must be willing to dialogue. Must be willing to or ready to also listen. When it comes to a point where the other partner is not willing to talk, is not ready to listen, then there is a problem. There is a problem. What is principle number 1? What's principle number 2? Principle number 3? Number 3. Yeah, I'm going to tell you is altruism. Altruism. Let me spell it for you. A-L-T-R-U-I-S-M. Altruistic principle. Altruism. A-L-T-R-U-I-S-M. Now, for altruism, it is one of the most difficult principles people or couples face. Now, when you have understood the issue, when you have felt the issue from your partner's point of view, from your partner's perspective, altruistic principle is saying that put your partner's desire above yours. What did I say? Put your partner's desire above yours. Mzee, it's not easy. Yes. You know, by nature, we are selfish, isn't it? But at the very heart of conflict resolution is this altruistic principle. Principle of putting one's spouses first. Actually, altruistic principle is a biblical principle. Let's read Philippians 2:3-5. Philippians 2:3-5. This is biblical principle. Philippians 2:3, verse 3-5.
Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind.
Listen, but in lowliness of mind,
let each esteem others better than himself.
Than himself.
Yes.
Let each esteem others better than who?
Himself.
Themselves. Continue.
Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others.
Not only your interests. Look for the interest of your spouse. Is it not a biblical principle? It is. It is. So, altruistic principle is saying that have the mind of Jesus Christ. Because that is what Jesus, if Jesus Christ should think of his glorious state, my brother, what are you doing? I can hear myself loud. If Jesus Christ should think about his glorious state in heaven, he will never come down here. But he put your interest first above his. So he came. And that is what he is also asking you to do. Altruism. Altruistic principle. What's the first principle? The second? Don't look on your notes. Close your note. Close your note. So the first principle is what? Agency. The second? Bifocal. The third? Altruism. My brother. Okay. Now, what did we say about agency? And I need a volunteer to just summarize agency for us. What does it mean in conflict resolution? Yes. Give her the mic. Just summarize what agency principle means.
Agency, I'll say, we avoid piling issues, sort them as they come.
Mm-hmm. Solve them. Avoid piling issue. Solve them as they surface. Thank you. How about bifocal principle? A volunteer to just summarize it for us. Bifocal.
Make your best attempt to look at issues from the other person's side.
Make your best attempt to see the issue from your partner's perspective, isn't it? And we said, how do we make that happen?
By listening.
Ready to listen. Open communication.
Meaningful dialogue.
Willing to dialogue without being over emotional. The very moment you become over emotional, you react, you stop the communication. That is what happened to the lady in the camp meeting I told you about. They cannot communicate, they cannot talk. One person becomes over emotional, the other one over emotional, the other one, and then the communication process is broken, is destroyed. A volunteer to tell us about altruistic principle, altruism. Summarize it for us. What does it mean? There is a hand, a lady.
Selfish or personal interests, personal ambitions, and put the other's interest before.
Put your partner's desire, his or her interest, above yours. And we said it's a biblical principle, isn't it? Number 4 principle. Number 4. We are going for 7 principles in resolving conflict. All of them are very important. Number 4 is action plan. Action plan. Action. You can spell action, isn't it? And then the plan, P-L-A-N, plan, action plan. Now, let's listen very carefully. Never, ever resolve any issue in marriage without putting action plan in place. Don't resolve issues in marriage without putting action plan in place. Now, what is this action plan? Let me give you an example. Not long ago, there was a problem with a young couple. They live in Rongai. The man has to go to work in Nairobi and drive back in this traffic. You know, maybe those of you here, you don't know Rongai traffic. Hey, that traffic, this man has to be in traffic And the man always come home late, 10 o'clock. And this woman has been complaining, this young lady. And the lady cannot take it anymore. So she whispered this to me. And I said, do you want me to help? She said, yes. Is your husband willing? You talk to your husband first. So they talked to their husband. They invited me home. And then I said, what is the issue here? And the lady said, now, he goes home, he goes to work and come home very late. I have tried to tell him to come on time, and all the time he comes home late. And I asked the man, is that true? The man said, Pastor, but you know our traffic situation. I have always told her that I leave work early, but the best time I can get home is this time. So what can I do? It's not me, it's the traffic. So I asked the lady, what do you really want your husband to do? You see, you heard him. The situation is out of his hand. And she said, no, Pastor, I know the traffic. That is not the... I just want him to call me. I just want him to call me when he is leaving Nairobi. Maybe when he gets to Galleria. Call me maybe when he gets to Multimedia. That's all. I said, is that what you really want? She said, yes, Pastor. It's not the time he gets home. She said, no, I know the traffic situation. Have you tried to tell your husband? And she said, he will not allow me to tell him. Communication. So I asked the man, can you do what she is asking you to do? She said, Pastor, that is no will not call. What should we do then? What should happen? It's still coming. It's coming again. If one person is not faithful to the action plan, what should happen? What should be done? Yes, thank you. Tell me when to stop.
I want to attempt in answering that by equally commenting on the first scenario, where the husband was subjected to be calling the lady every other stopover. Then the concern I had, or the question I had, how sustainable is that action plan?
Mm-hmm.
How long was he going to do it? Maybe you checked after a month, but if we checked on them a year down the line, will that action plan be still sustainable?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have mentioned something, the lady could have been very lonely in the house. She felt she's lonely, she needs to be checked on. And so what I'm asking and inquiring, could there be an underlying cause for that? Because that lady could have had some trust issues. Who is that man with? Now he's on traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Is he with another lady? Has he gone to a bar? Where is he? So, and he needed to kind of keep checking on him on where he is. That's number one. Number two, she may have needed an occupation in the house. Maybe she needed to have something to occupy her so that she does not feel lonely. I'm trying to imagine if this lady had something to do,
Mm-hmm.
she would not have really felt like I need to be called now when the husband is in Galilee. If she had gone to work or she had an occupation to do, she would have been so busy, so engaged in her own occupation, such that she would not even have remembered whether the husband is on the way or not, because she has something that keeps her busy. So there are two aspects. It could be the trust issues. Number two, it could be there is an underlying cause, which is actually the loneliness. And what is causing that loneliness? Maybe the husband has denied that woman an opportunity to go out to look for work.
A job.
Because we have those scenarios. Or maybe this lady is just lazy. She does not want to work. Or maybe so many other causes. So much as we give the action plans, we also see how sustainable are these action plans. And are there any underlying causes? Yes.
Thank you. That's a brilliant. She has brought in so many scenarios, isn't it? Good. That is why we are saying that action plan should not be static. So it may even come to a time the call may not be Nairobi, Galleria, Multimedia. How sustainable, like she said, how sustainable that could be. It could even be just call me when you are leaving Nairobi. Maybe it may come to a time the lady may not even be bothered when the husband doesn't call her from Galleria or from Multimedia. And again, even if she is occupied at home, and that is the mistake many of us make. If my wife is so busy, and she's a busy woman at work, but if I don't call her, maybe she will say, you don't miss me. You don't miss me. So here, she may be very busy, but she just wants to hear from her husband. And even when I am so busy, and even I hear, even if I am the man and I hear from my wife, I feel glad. And it may not be a phone call. It may be a text message. It may just be a text message. So there can be so many scenarios we can read, like you have perfectly done. But they are young couples.
0 to 10. We call ourselves first world. We have that tendency that, I need Divina to call me. Divina needs me to call her. But when I look at Eldamonde and Eldolina, who are in the second world, whether you call, you don't call, they're okay.
Yeah. You see,
let me respond to him a bit. And I want to give a practical example. I am not very good in WhatsApp. My wife just a a few days ago. Really, it's possible I've read, and I mean, I'm continuing doing my other things. Then she comes and tells me, if it was a church issue, you could have commented. But here, this one, you have kept quiet. I don't feel all right. Then now, I had no option other than, sometimes I can forget to respond, but quickly, I could be able to check, has she written anything in WhatsApp, so that, so
Yeah.
sometimes these things happen. I hope with the time she will be able to understand that if I don't really respond, it's not that I don't love her, it's because probably I was rather busy, but it happens. It's not
Good.
only for the first
Good.
10 only.
Thank you. So the scenario, the bottom line is that there should be an action plan. And the action plan should work for the two of you. That is why it is not static. It should not be static. In a month's time, 2 months' time, come back or verify if the action plan is working. If it is not working, come together again and review. I have been asked, I have been shown 15 minutes. But then the next one is the huge one, which you and I are very guilty of. The next principle. The next principle. It is called the golden words. Golden words. Golden. You can spell golden, isn't it? Golden. And then words is W-O-R-D-S. W-O-R-D-S. How do you pronounce that word? No. Golden. G-O-L-D-E-N. Golden. Golden. Yeah, the golden. Is it was or words? Words. The golden words. Okay. We don't have time. The golden words. This is a huge one. And you know, beloved, in the battlefield of marital conflict, spouses hurt each other, isn't it? We tend to hurt each other. In what we say, in what we do, some couples are very sensitive, some words hurt. It does, always. One vital aspect of conflict resolution is the experience of forgiveness in the marriage. Even if there is a wrong done to a partner, and that partner asks for forgiveness 100 times, it should be forgiven. But for forgiveness to take place, there should be a request for what? Pardon, isn't it? For forgiveness to take place, there should be a request for pardon. And the golden words here is, I am sorry. Mzee, you hold your, because this one is very important to me. The golden words we are talking about, 3 golden words. I am sorry. This is where the issue is. Your spouse is ready to forgive, but you should request for pardon, isn't it? Many a times when we request for pardon, how genuinely do we request for that pardon? And here, I want to really get from you, and we will demonstrate. Let me give you one example. If you say, I am sorry, then I am sorry. If you say, I am wrong, then I am sorry. Is that genuine request for condition? So now, tell me, what are some of the ways we cheapen that word? We make it so cheapen. We say it, but we don't mean it. If you say, I am wrong, then I am sorry. How else do we say it and we don't mean it? Come again? What does it mean? Now, there are many ways we say I am sorry and we don't mean it. We say it cheaply. Especially my men, African men. I'm an African. How easy it is for us to say I am sorry for men. But it is one of the principles that can bring the tension from the roof down. No matter how high the anger is, that word, if it is said meaningfully, it can bring the tension down. Now, tell me some of the ways we say this, I am sorry, and say it in a very cheap way.
I was going to say that first. So in my age group.
In your age group, okay?
Sorry was not a word to be used.
It's not a word of, it is not said.
It was not there.
Oh, okay.
In my age group, we knew the man is right.
And the woman is always wrong.
The woman has to take the blame all the time.
You see where we are going? You know, and we have taught that to our children, and even we have added culture, and we say that in Africa the man doesn't apologize. Who says it? You know, and you are making reference to your age group. You know, I was in a marriage seminar one day, and somebody asked, why is it that the African men, when your wife cooks food and the food is good, you don't say that, honey, thank you for the food is so nice. And then, do you want to hear what the man said? One man said, the way I show that I like the food is when I finish all the food in the plate. When I finish all the food. Now let's come back. I'm interested to know how we say I am sorry in a very cheap way. Yes.
If we add conditions to it, for example, if I hurt you, then I'm sorry.
If I hurt you, then I'm sorry. Thank you for that. If I hurt you, then I'm sorry. It's a very cheap way, isn't it? Now, there are many ways we say this and cheapen it. I want you to give me examples.
Another way.
Yes.
Another way is when you say it in passing.
Come again?
You say it in passing, like there's no eye contact. You are not responding to that person. You are just saying as you move. You
are going and say, oh, I'm sorry. Okay?
Another way, I said, the culture, if I've hurt you now, I'll not say sorry, but I'll take you for a cup of tea. Now
but the I'm sorry didn't come out.
It did not come out. So I'll take you for a cup of tea, or we just walk around, and then I imagine that's the easy sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Flour and bring. You don't mean it. Very good. Thank you. It's coming up. Please tell me. What are some of the ways we say I am sorry in a cheap way? Stand up and shout it out. Oh.
Right. Yeah. So, or maybe I tell a friend of hers. Go and tell her.
Oh, okay. You say it through a friend. Okay. Now, take note of all these things.
Pastor, I don't know how to put it in English because I know it mostly in my mother tongue, and especially in Kisi men, they normally say, "Pole rende," and they just, "Sorry then."
Sorry then.
Sorry then.
Uh-huh.
And the other way to say, "Chiporo target." How do I say? You want me to be saying sorry all the time? Sorry then.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
You want to say something? She wants to say something.
I would put it in Kiswahili, then we translate to English. I'm sorry, lakini hizo vitu ndogo ndogo haifai kukusumbua.
What's the meaning?
I'm sorry, but those are very small things. They don't really need to bother you.
You see it as a small thing, but for her, it's not a small thing. But one way, yes, Elder.
Thank you. Otherwise, rather than verbalizing it, you just send a text message.
No, it is not right. It's wrong. Last one. Madam wants to say.
But I'm lucky. My husband can say sorry.
Oh, that's good.
All the time, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Let's do this for the husband. Let's do this. Now let's do this. That's good. When the sorry becomes too many, we will come there. We'll come there. You see, let's come together. You know, one common way we also say it is, I am sorry, but. If you bring the word but, I am sorry, but you brought it up. I'm sorry, but you did it, or it's your fault. I'm sorry, but now, because of time, we want to demonstrate the right way to say sorry. I need a volunteer couple. A volunteer couple. Now, let them volunteer themselves. Don't volunteer them. No, I need a volunteer. Don't volunteer them. They themselves should say, okay, we want to try. If they volunteer themselves, they can do it wonderfully well. I wish my wife is here. I could volunteer myself. Now she's up there. A volunteer? Else we will volunteer some people. Okay, then how meaningfully you can say, I am sorry. Very good. Did you tell her? Okay. Come here, and let's face each other. No, you face each other and do a demonstration for us. Now, because of time, I will be correcting them, and they will do it over and over again. Okay? Okay, maybe you need mic. You use the mic for them. Put it on. You put it off.
Right, thank you. I'm saying, Baba, I didn't mean to hurt you. I am extremely sorry.
Come. Come, madam, come. That's a very good start. It's a very good start. Good. But you know, when you apologize genuinely and you are, let's say you are the one apologizing and you apologize genuinely, you should end it by hugging her. Hugging her. So try again, let's see. Try again, let's see.
Well, Baba, I didn't mean to hurt you. I am sincerely sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, you see, those golden words, if we can utilize them very genuinely, it brings anger down. It brings anger down. Now, let me give you an experience with me and my wife. Don't tell her, huh? You stop the recording first. Yes, go and tell her. You see, there was a time we were at home, and I was coming down from the stairs, and she was going up. You know, all the morning I have observed her mood, and the mood has changed. And for my wife, and I said, what else have I done? I was trying to think, what I have done? So I was coming down from the stairs, and she was climbing with a moody face. And then I held her hand, and then they will always do that, but they don't mean it. They don't mean it. Then I said, I call her sweet. What is it again? What have I done? Tell me. I am trying to think about what I have done. Then she said, Then I just brought her closer to me and put, for men, God made our shoulder for our wives to cry on and to lean on I brought her to me. I said, I don't know what I have done. Whatever it is, please, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? Then I brought her, and then I tapped her back. That was it. I don't know what I did, but I apologize. Just to make her happy. Just to make her happy. And with that, that's it. The happiness has come back again. The happiness is back. And sometimes if you want to argue your case, it will take the happiness away from your marriage. But the happiness should always be there. The joy. And yesterday I said women are not difficult to please. If you know how to play your card well. They value relationship. And they may be angry, but it takes just, honey, I am sorry. Their anger will just drop. And if you do it genuinely, if you do it well, because they treasure relationship, they let go. Everything. The golden words is so important. And in Africa, we tend to not use it well. We tend to pride, ego, African man, culture. Those are the things working against us. The golden words. It's one of the principles of resolving conflict that if we can lay our hands on it well. Now, when I apologize to her, am I still not the Daniel that you see today? I am Daniel. For me, I help my wife in the kitchen. I help her in the kitchen. We cook together. Actually, the time we bond well is when I am with her in the kitchen, cooking together and talking. That is the time we bond very well. And that is my home. That is my home. When we were outside, we were schooling. The two of us were in the PhD program. And we traveled to town. for classes, and then we have to travel back home. I always come back home before her. And when I come home, I am hungry. She will also come hungry. Should I sit down and wait for her to come and cook? Are you not hungry? That is where we lose it. That is where we lose it. You are hungry yourself. You are. You are
in a different culture.
No. I still have my Ghanaian culture with me there.
No. I'm saying the environment around you was a totally different culture. And therefore, you conformed because of that culture where you were. Now, if you are doing that PhD in Accra,
in Ghana or in Kenya here,
or in Nairobi, and you are moving like that, and you are a kissy, like he's saying, where the mothers don't want to see a man in the kitchen.
No, wait.
How will you be able to handle it? How will you handle it now?
Yes.
Under that different
Culture.
the Accra or Nairobi culture, not that foreign culture and environment.
You see, we should be able to surmount over our culture. And the educated people today should be able to let my mother in the village know that there is nothing wrong if I help my wife at home. And this is my home. Sometimes what works against us is we want to listen to what my friend will say. And then we will not do it. But I'm telling you, the new generation coming now is changing. They are changing. We are supposed to educate. You see, and it is like that in Ghana also. When the wife and then the husband go to farm, you will see the woman carrying something on her head. The baby is at the back, and the man is just walking. And they accept it. When they go to farm, they all work. The woman will not sit down. The woman works, the man also works. They come home, the man is sitting down, relaxing. The lady has to go to the kitchen again and work, and then cook. Those are the cultures. Your time, you made reference to your time and your age group. Good. And so we tend to say that culture is what we will also live in our home. Now, you are in the rural area setting, but in our home, for example, we don't have to use firewood, and you can just ignite the oven. I think that you use rice cooker. I think that if I am hungry, going to take rice in the rice cooker and put it on fire does not demean me. It does not demean me. Now, I'm venturing into a very sensitive area, I know. Yes, I know most of you will not accept, but listen to me. You see, when I was doing that in a foreign country, one African man came to see me cooking. And I will not mention the country he came from. And he said, "Daniel, why are you disgracing Africans?" Yes, that is what. But I told him, "Hey, this is my home. Whatever you come to see in my home, keep quiet. This is not your home." Are we together? Beloved, see. Elder, give me one more, some few minutes.
Pastor, we may be accused, particularly the teachers of family life. You may be accused of telling the participants what you do and they don't do. And then some of them go and begin doing what you do, and then will you be adding more conflict in homes?
No. That is how we begin to teach. We begin to teach our youth that there is nothing wrong if you go to the kitchen to take a rice, put it on a rice cooker, and cook. There is nothing wrong. That is how we begin to teach them. It's a cultural issue. It's a cultural issue. And I know culture is very strong.
Mine, I will add, what makes yours better than what they have?
What
makes yours better than what they have? In other words, somebody will say, I'm comfortable with what I have, what I experience in my household. So yours, because I'm trying to say this because, may I give you an example? When our ladies go to America, for instance, they very fast copy what Americans do. And when they come back home, they are different. Then, would you say the American style is better than the Africans?
No.
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 So that's what we are saying, that we do not emphasize what you have in your own house, and then say this is what you should copy. As much as you said you are teaching, the teaching is not necessarily relevant to some of us.
What we are saying is that, Elder, there are many of... Now, let's come together. Yeah, that's the age. There are many of our African cultures. Listen, let's listen. Listen, now I know this is there are many or most of our African cultures that is very good. That is excellent. We should keep those. We should keep those. But here, it's just like your wife. It may work for you. But also think about your wife. Think about, you see, sometimes maybe we will be quick to say, okay, get a helper. But household chores are very difficult. Household chores. Now our wives are, they work also, isn't it? Our wives works. Take somebody like me where we don't have a helper. My wife spends full time in the office. We come home together. If I am thinking about her health, I will not go and be watching television. Now, some people will say, now let's get a helper. And it works for you. One other caution I will give is that, for me, even if we take a helper, I will be hesitant to eat food from my helper. I will still allow my wife to cook. I will still want to eat the food from my wife. And there are many of you, probably it works for you like Mzee have said, but Elder, I would like to say that it's just a common sense to think about the health of your wife. Now, when you come home, she has had a terrible time in the office. She comes home, you come home with her. She has spent the time in the kitchen. When you go to bed now, you are saying, please come closer also. You know, it becomes a bit difficult for them. So let me ask you, maybe let me ask you one question. Is there something wrong when I go to the kitchen? No, I want the men to answer. You're answering for them. Okay, what is wrong here when I say that? Yes, Elder.
Thank you. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Is that good English? Okay. Yeah. I mean, currently we're just basically the two of us in the house, and we were asking ourselves, why did we build all this? And because there are no occupants. We only occupy the bedroom and the kitchen, and yeah. I mean, the reality is that the home is really the lady's place. That's a fact. I mean, how the home looks like, it's really her joy. I mean, since we built that house, she has done quite a bit of changes here and there. I mean, it's really about how it looks like. And that also goes to what happens in the kitchen, in the bedrooms. Really, that's hers. But the truth is that takes a lot of time, energy, sacrifice, and she does that not just for her own comfort, but for my comfort as well. So it's going an extra mile to just give her a hand. Voluntarily is I think something comforting even for me. And we do that from time to time. So, but it's not a written code. It's not law. It's not law. So she doesn't demand of me. And but I mean, going to the sink to wash utensils there, or get that sufuria and put some hot water there and cook ugali. But yeah, but it's but also recognizing that she defines order in that home. How I do it is really should be to her taste. If she doesn't want me to do it, I can let her do it. Yeah. But cognizant of the fact that there are cultural definitions.
Yes, and I'm saying it's cultural issue.
Yeah, the cultural definitions that live long and live on, and sometimes we should allow them. I mean, I should allow her be the boss of the home.
She's the boss.
She's the boss of the home, by all means. And when our kids come home, I kind of take a back seat and let her play her mother's role, and then the kids, of course, help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those of us who says, no, I cannot go to the kitchen. What happens when your wife travels? Eh? Yes, madam. Or you will allow the helper to cook for you when she travels.
I want to give an example, which was given by a friend of ours when we were in a family retreat. I don't know if you can remember, sometime in 2017. So this lady was telling us she was working, and so she could leave work very late, and of course she finds traffic on the road, and by the time she gets to home, it's 10, it's 9, maybe the earliest is 9, and she has kids, and she's a student. So she was doing all manner of things. And then the husband expected that she could actually only eat food from her, from the lady, from the wife. And so particularly the chapatis, he could not eat any chapati cooked by anyone else apart from the wife. And so this lady really got overwhelmed. She was telling us in that retreat, she really got overwhelmed. So one day, she decided, and she had trained the house girl, the house manager, on how to cook good food, including the chapatis. So one day, she was really tired. But then the husband insisted he could not take any chapati apart from the chapatis cooked by the wife. But then because the lady knew she had already empowered the house manager how to cook nice chapatis, so she just came one day. She was tired from work. She just came and sat in the kitchen while the house manager did all the cooking and chapatis. But of course, the food was taken to the table, and the man was made to understand that the chapatis have been cooked by the lady. And so the man was like, yeah, these are very nice chapatis, not like the other ones, not knowing the chapatis have actually been cooked by the house manager, not really the wife. And so what I'm saying, sometimes these things, there's the cultural issues, but also the mindset. Yani, I have to eat food cooked by my wife. Then on the other hand, Amanda Pale, she's empowered somebody else, she's cooked, and now the food is here, and you're made to understand it's her, kumbe it's the house manager who has cooked. And he was praising those chapatis which have been cooked by the house manager, not knowing it was the other way around. So sometimes it's actually the mindset which we really have to get out of. Yes.
Thank you. How I wish the wife really teaches him how to cook chapati. How I wish that was. Yes, Elder.
Okay. I need to concur with the issue of going to kitchen. Once in a while, I do it in my house.
Wonderful.
And when I do, my boys, my kids become very happy.
Oh, they are
very
learning.
Happy. They get excited. But unfortunately, the house helps are not happy. So what do we do as men?
No, that is your house, isn't it? It's not the house helps house. That is your house. So you can, whether she is happy or not, that's your house. And you know, beloved, I intentionally brought this issue. It's not part of the resolving conflict, but I intentionally bring it up. And I know once it is a cultural issue, we will kick against it very vehemently. But every marriage counseling or marriage workshop I go, I kind of bring it up a little. Now, I went for a marriage workshop at a church. You know Sikumayo? I went there, and then I said, before the marriage retreat, I said every couple should, or everybody should come with your couple, so to say. And there was one lady who came only. She was the only one who didn't come with her husband. So I said, where is your husband? She said, he is at home. Why didn't he come with you? And then she said, he is changing the baby's diaper. Today is his turn to change the baby's diaper, and he feels ashamed to come with the baby here to be changing the diaper. And I said, who made that rule that he should change baby's diaper, and today is his day? And she said, we made that rule that today I will change, tomorrow he will change, the next day I will change, tomorrow I will change. And today is his day, so he has to do it. And because of that, she said he said he will stay home because he feels ashamed. Now, listen, I'm going somewhere. When I began to go to the kitchen, there was no rule. I did that voluntarily. If I don't go to the kitchen tomorrow, my wife, sometimes she even sacks me from the kitchen. Never, ever make that rule. I told the lady, stop here, go and bring your husband with the baby and the diaper. You are the one who is going to change the diaper. When it becomes a rule at home, then it is very wrong. You've lost it. Even when I see a man, kissy man, who voluntarily go to the kitchen once in a while to help his wife, I will say kudos to that man. Kudos. You understand kudos? Say kudos. It is voluntary. It is not a rule. It is not a law in the house. And when your husband comes to help you, allow him to do that. Allow him to do that. We need to teach our children that, you know, we are not saying that we are embracing American culture. No. We are saying that we are just giving a helping hand. Maybe my wife should be too tired and I'm helping her. I can go to the kitchen, put the rice on fire, and maybe, you know, whatever menial thing you can do, that could be okay. We are teaching our children. And you made mention that when your children see you do that, they are happy, isn't it? Why are they happy? You know, so that one is a food for thought. Let's stop there now. The last conflict resolution principle, the last but one, is optimism. Number 6, optimism. Optimism. Now, I'll go through this very quickly. Throughout all these actions, your reaction and interaction and your resolving conflict, it is very important that spouses stay optimistic. Spouses stay what? Optimistic. Now, this principle is saying that whatever issue we are resolving, we will overcome. We will overcome. We will never give up. It will never tear us apart. Are we together? Optimism. We will overcome. So never ever give up on any issue that you are resolving. You know, the Bible says true love never gives up. True love is persevering. True love always trusts. True love always hope. That is why we always say that divorce has no place for us Adventists. We always stay optimistic that whatever issue that is between us, we are optimistic that we shall overcome. We shall. And the last one, the 7th one, I talked about that yesterday. So it is the prince. The prince. The prince, P-R-I-N-C-E. That's the last principle, the prince. And here, when I talk about prince, I'm talking about the divine third person in your marriage. Jesus Christ in your marriage, the prince. The prince is inviting Jesus Christ into your marriage. Are we together? So let's go over the principles again. Principle number 1 is what? Urgency. Principle number 2, bifocal. Principle number 3, altruism. Principle number 4, action plan. Principle number 5, the golden was. Principle number 6, optimism. And principle number 7, the prince. The prince. Princess. The prince. The prince here, we're talking about Jesus Christ. Always have him in your marriage. Elder, I have gone way over my time. I apologize for that. And thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. It's worthy all the time. It's the first session. We have a second session. But before we go to the second session, I think we'll have a little break for a breather so that you can digest. Go and demonstrate aponje. Wapi divi nako wapi? Ona sasa. Umulete. Anyway, thank you so much, Pastor. I think we will stand up and can we sing that song? 3 to 1, first stanza, and then we pray and then have a break. Then we'll come back for our second session. Thank you.
(321) First answer.
My Jesus, today. My Jesus, I love thee. I know thou art mine. For thee all the follies of sin I resign. My gracious Redeemer, my Savior, art thou. If ever I love thee, my Jesus is
now. Indeed, we love you, our Savior and our Redeemer. Thank you so much for letting us go through these 7 principles of resolving conflict in our marriages. Father, empower us to use them so that our marriage can be vibrant and can be what you will be proud of. As we separate, be with us and help us to come back once again for the last session. Bless us now and forevermore, for we have prayed in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. We have 10 minutes of a short break. Please relax and come back in 10 minutes so that we are able to do this by around 1 o'clock. God bless you.